All right, Velocity, Mooney, peace and blessings. All right, so we about to get into a fifth house, fifth lord in astrology and whatnot. I'm gonna try to make this video as short and straight to the point as I possibly can. It's gonna be a bit lengthy, you know what I'm saying? Y'all bear with me. I'm definitely going to, debunk some aspects of the fifth house that a lot of people seem to take to from a general astrological perspective. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into this shit. We're gonna pretty much try to nutshell, this fifth house situation today and whatnot. So what is fifth house in a nutshell, right? In a nutshell, it's an identity house. The trine houses directly influence and affect the identity. Or rather the trine houses show, you know, uh the identification of the soul or whatnot, right? The I am to a certain level, but the fifth house being that it's fifth from the first, you know what I'm saying? The fifth shows the lineage identity, you know what I'm saying, via the father's bloodline, right? It shows the lineage's genetic code, demonstration, disposition. It shows all the gifts, the talents, you know what I'm saying, the already learned, already good shit that was in the father, coming from the father's father and 7 generations back, or all the woke shit niggas be saying or whatever. And it pretty much shows all of the blessed works that they've done to pretty much pay it forward to you, right? It shows you inheriting those particular talents, you inheriting those abilities, you inheriting those gifts, and you pretty much being like the king, the next king in line within your family, right? Within your ancestral line or whatever, right? Shows you being the king and you pretty much governing your identity and your state of affairs to the best of your ability. At least this is what the king is supposed to do, right? The king governing self, the kingdom, his state of affairs, and you know what I'm saying, the shit that he's responsible for the to the best of his ability. Doing all this good shit to a good shit level and passing all of the accumulated talents, abilities, and shit that he has and paying it forward to the son. Just pretty much passing the shit down further down the bloodline in a beneficial way. Pretty much being fruitful and multiplying, right? Generation after generation after generation is supposed to get better. It's supposed to improve. It's supposed to be, you feel me, more knowledge that's accumulated, more foresight, more wealth, more stability, more, acquisition, more geniusness, you feel me, more authority. It's supposed to be more that's added to the bloodline in each successive generation, right? And bottom line, in a nutshell, the fifth house, fifth lord, it pretty much represents the process of you carrying forward all the ancestral talents and gifts to the future generation or whatnot, right? Now, that's how it will go in a perfect world, right? But not all kings are perfect. You know what I'm saying? And not anything is perfect on the earth, pretty much, except fucking mellow yellow, right? Mellow yellow is the only fucking perfect thing on earth, right? Everything else is fucking flawed, right? But anyway, so it's a potentiality for kings to become corrupt, to not have an heir to the throne, to marry into a foreign family, to not give a fuck about being a king, to being sloppy, a fat bitch, a fucking donut eating ass nigga. Like it's many different ways a person can take the baton and fuck the whole race up. You know what I'm saying? Or set the whole race ahead, right? You could take the baton, be on some Usain boat shit, win the fucking race for your lineage, liberate your lineage, go to the heavens, go to Swargalok, all that. Or you could take the baton, you can throw that shit across the stadium, go into the stands, beat a nigga ass, get disqualified, get all your people shot up, cops pull up and just get to shoot niggas. And crazy shit, right? Many ways it can go, and that depends upon the intricacy of the birth chart. And I know I'm rambling right now, but I just want to get into people's heads. Like, That's pretty much the fifth house basic. I know that probably seems a lot different than what is usually said about the fifth house, but that's pretty much the fifth house basic. Now, let's get into this meme demonstration, and let me demystify a few points which people usually place upon the fifth house, right? So shouts out to insightfulpsychics.com. I don't want no smoke with y'all, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this to be necessarily disrespectful or anything like that. I just came across this meme and thought, I could use it in my video or whatever. But fifth house, right? So some things they are saying is definitely right. And it's just some things that I want to point out, right? So fifth house, home, family, security, creative expression. Fifth house represents creative expression, children, love affairs, romance, pleasures, holidays, vacations, fun, games, hobbies. It's about playfulness, having fun, the pursuit of pleasure. The fifth house governs artistic ability, drama, theater, literature, culture, and other creative outlets. It also deals with how you spend your leisure time and your attitude towards children. The fifth house is ruled by Leo and the sun, right? Natural fifth house of the zodiac is Leo, which is ruled by the sun, right? Now, here's the thing. Once again, it does deal with children because your children are the descendants, and you have to pass off genetic blessing, genetic code, genetic information for the children for them to be fruitful and multiply. You know what I'm saying? That's a fifth house activity, being fruitful and multiplying. The purpose of the multiplication is to make the world a better place, a more stable place, to upgrade code for the future generations so that the world can be even more advanced and the people can be more sensible, more intelligent, more closer to source or their own self-authority, right? And raise themselves to a sun-like position to where they become their own star and able to govern themselves as their own stars, right? Who don't need to be dependent upon, the father or the earth or, even the sun for that matter. That's the fifth house, right? It's about raising the kids properly, right? If you're a father, you want to make sure that you impart the proper instruction to your sons so that your son can go off and regulate his own self, do his own thing. He doesn't need you to tell him to go to bed at 9 o'clock. He doesn't need you to tell him, hey, you gotta wipe your ass. You know what I'm saying? After you done taking this shit, you can't just hop off and, you feel me? Hop off the toilet. Pull your goddamn pull up and hop on Fortnite on some bullshit. You're gonna have shit wedges in your motherfucking drawers. Bitches don't like that. You don't have to tell your son, certain things in order to protect the integrity of his being. You don't have to be beside your son while he on the bicycle to make sure he don't fall or whatever. You don't have to beat your son ass for going into your porno DVDs or no shit like that. I don't think no dad ever did that. My dad ain't never did that shit. But you don't gotta hide the pornos from your son, right? You don't have to put restrictions and different shit on your son to protect the integrity of his fragile mind and being, right? Raising the son properly, raising the kids properly. You teach them the things that they need to know: math, arithmetic, English, behavioral science, or how to get along with others, boundaries, respects, paying bills, the value of discipline. You teach your son, daughter, you teach your kids a multitude of things so that they can grow up into well-functioning adults and they can go out in the world and be their own self-governor. That's the fifth house pretty much nutshelled, right? It's the shit that you got from your father, your premiumly instilled education, right? From the father, the premiumly instilled coaching, whether or not you got that, and how do you delineate that, or how do you transfer that to your son or the generation under you, right? Good fifth lord, good process. You probably was homies with your father or real close to the father or had a real good instruction. And you'll be a real good father. You'll be a real good coach. You'll be a real good person of that manner. Bad fifth lord, absent father, you got the wrong knowledge, lack of guidance, uh might father bad kids, might not have kids, different ways it can go. These are just general things that I'm coming up with off the top of the head, right? Now, so get into it, right? So once again, okay, so fifth house is the natural house of Leo and is ruled by the sun, right? A lot of people place love affairs, romance, hobbies, fun things, you know what I'm saying, into the fifth house. And it's like a strong fifth can give you access to these extracurricular activities. But this is not what the fifth is about. Like, we gotta know that the houses bleed into each other. You know what I'm saying? That the houses interact within each other. Every house within your chart interacts with every other house, right? But we gotta know where the houses bleed and whose blood belongs to who, right? Romance doesn't really belong to the fifth house, but romance does bleed into the fifth house. A strong fifth lord, you know what I'm saying, can definitely give a person more of an attractive ability. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll come with more security. They'll come with more authority. They'll come with more being able to stand on business and whatnot, right? And this naturally, especially if you're a man, will attract, you feel me, more romantic partners, will attract more women who's willing to copulate with you and to integrate into your bloodline. It's a father, you know what I'm saying, the son, right? It will attract better quality of people if you have a strong fifth lord or whatever who would want to mix with your bloodline. And you know, via those people you can engage in certain experiences like romance, or you know what I'm saying, affairs, different pleasures, you know, fun, you know, creative outlets and things of that nature, right? Even a strong fifth house, right? 11 from the fifth being the third house, right? Third house is the house of sibling, and 11th house itself is the house of the elder brother. You know, it's the house of a desire or whatever. So fifth house, 11 from the fifth being the third house is showing that, you know, as the king of your own bloodline currently, as the king of your own life, you do, excuse me, you might have the propensity, or a king naturally has the propensity to, you know, want to take breaks sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Want to engage in maybe high level gambling, or, you know, luxurious living and, you know, high level king shit, right? Maybe you want to buy a bitch and, you know, have her feed you grapes or whatever the fuck, right? Maybe you want to do some outlandish, high level nigger shit or whatever the fuck like that, right? But it's not about that. It's more so about being the son, right? The king. And what is the functionality of the sun? The sun pretty much exists to make sure that life forms on Earth and maybe life forms throughout the solar system are able to get the proper nutrients, to get the proper code, to get the proper light code information that we need in order to grow and develop in consciousness, to where we don't need to depend upon, you feel me, a regulated source of heat or soul to sustain ourselves. So the sun is like a father, it's a teacher, you know what I'm saying? So that's the natural functionality of the fifth house itself. But, you know, once again, father isn't just a teacher, you feel me? Your father can be loyal to your mother and they can have their own connection. Your father might be an ancient ass nigga. He might fuck all type of bitches and pull up in all type of Tesla trucks and extravagant shit, and you know what I'm saying, walking bitches on leashes or knocking niggas out for no reason. Your father can assume many different hats and roles, but ultimately the father is supposed to give you the proper food, knowledge, information, code, and education so that you can grow up to be the best human being that you can be, right? So I hope that I cleaned that up. But yeah, so getting into some fifth house generalities. again, once again, the strength of the fifth lord, its placement, you know what I'm saying, or whatever is sitting in the fifth house is going to pretty much show you it's going to show you the relationship that you have with your father. It can even show you the occupation or the personality, how your father turned out. You know what I'm saying? How your father supported you, if he supported you or not. You know, and how hard you would have to work. You feel me? If you just have a natural talent, or like if fifth lord is strong, it'll show a natural talent or a natural expertise about the person to where you know this can be a source of great riches or wealth or stability for you, right? Because you don't necessarily have to work hard when it comes to the fifth lord. But one thing about the fifth lord, this is something that you are extremely consistent in, right? Fifth house being the natural sign of Leo once again, and Leo being ruled by the sun. The sun is extremely consistent. The sun rises and sets, you feel me, on the same periodic schedule. It's been doing it for millions and billions of years, right? You know what I'm saying? It rises and sets. It's extremely consistent, right? That is the gift of Leo. That is the gift of the sun, and that is the gift of your fifth house, fifth lord situation, the consistency and whatnot, right? And yeah, so strength of the fifth lord, it'll show what you're able to pretty much, what area of life you're able to pretty much manage, have authority within. People can kind of see you like a father or a king, or some type of respectable leader in this particular area. People can come to you for advice, for consultation. You could probably start your own courses and charge people, and you feel me, you know what I'm saying, provide them the education or the understanding in that particular area, and you can make a lot of money like this, because this will be something that you just like to do, right? And you'll do it right. You know what I'm saying? Depending upon, once again, the strength and the integrity of the fifth lord, right? So, fifth lord, just generalities, right? Once again, it can get real intricate. It can definitely get real, you feel me, like real intricate, real sometimes difficult to pinpoint exactly what's going on with the fifth lord, fifth house situation, based upon all the other factors of the chart. But from a normal manner, fifth lord is Mars, right? Just say fifth lord is Mars, due to the natural personalities of Mars in itself. Father could have been maybe a warrior or a fighter of some sort, you know what I'm saying? Military, right? Industrial worker, right? Somebody who, when it comes to their work, or when it comes to their, whatever they did for career or work ethic or whatever, definitely could have been somebody who was real physically active, right? You know what I'm saying? Father could be somebody who dealt with a degree of anger to some sort. Father could be maybe a bully of some sort at one point in time, right? In the streets, gangster. Depending upon the placement, all right? Just fifth lord being Mars, right? Spiritual warrior. You know what I'm saying? All of those different things, all of those types of things in a police force of in some type of way, right? But Mars is righteous, so father could be righteous. Father could be, maybe like the brother, because Mars represents brother, and father could really encourage you or really push you or be real adamant about you succeeding in your particular life, right? All pretty much flavors of Mars, right? So fifth lord, Jupiter. Father can have knowledge, special knowledge of some sort, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be priest, but it could translate to priestly knowledge, or father could be an abstract character interested into abstract spiritual, you know what I'm saying, ephemeral universal concepts, and searching for deeper knowledge and, you know what I'm saying, esoteric wisdom and things of this nature. Father could be even a scientist, because Jupiter kind of deals with scientists and, the discovery of things that are not necessarily perceptible to the human eye, right? From a macrocosmic level and a microcosmic level, right? Father could be, a teacher of some sort. Jupiter deals with teaching, right? Father could be an educator of some sort, right? Father could be docile in a way. Jupiter has a series like nature. You know what I'm saying? Father could be absent to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? The sage likes to he doesn't necessarily like to get engaged in the worldly responsibility, or you feel me, the father doesn't necessarily like to, Jupiter at least, not the father, but Jupiter doesn't like to really, do the worldly management and the worldly works, and is trying to search for knowledge and things like that. Just a base level representation of how the father could turn out when Jupiter is the fifth lord, right? So what I said, Mars, Jupiter, Venus. With Venus as the fifth lord, father could be an artist of some sort, right? Father could deal with women, right? Or he could be a womanizer, right? Father could be attractive. Father could be maybe in the cooking, or different arts and sciences, maybe that deal with healing. You know what I'm saying? Because Venus had the Shukracharya, rather. He had a Sanjivani mantra. So father could probably be in like massage therapy, or could be in a certain shit like Reiki, or could be in a certain shit like laying hands on people and, you feel me, healing arts, or Tantra, right? Because Shukracharya, or Venus, was the guru of demons, right? Could be in a Tantra, could be into the sex world to some type of degree, right? Could be in the music, right? Music industry and things like that, right? And what else? Mercury. Father could be in a tech in some type of way, right? Father could be intelligent. Father could be versatile. Father could be funny. You know what I'm saying? Father could be industrious. Father could be able to adapt to different situations. Father could be, you know what I'm saying, dual minded, intelligent, once again, you know what I'm saying? Able to manage many different things or whatnot, right? Father could know how to leverage, right? Father could be very skilled and make whatever he does look easy, right? Depending upon the placement of the Mercury, right? Father could be a scientist, an engineer of some sort, right? Politician, dealing in the legal field, right? These are all just different possibilities that come with the mercurial turnout. But it doesn't mean the father has to be one of these different things. There's so many even smaller slivers or particular careers and outputs and personality formats that can manifest through Mercury alone, like comedian, and then it's different types of comedians, and meme comedians and niggas who only post memes on social media. And you pretty much get what I'm saying. Like it's kind of difficult to point it out exactly unless you have the chart in front of you, you know what I'm saying? And unless you got a lot of understanding about, today's age and time and all the different career sectors or whatever. But you should be able to get the general turnout of, what the father could be, what is in the bloodline, what is in the lineage, what's getting passed down to you, what is your blessing, what is your talent, what is your gift, what are you going to pass down to future generations, if you're even going to do that, right? You should be able to get a general understanding of that based upon the nature of the fifth lord, right? So what did I say? Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Saturn. Saturn, father could come from poverty, lower position, lower self-esteem, industrious worker, working in industry in some sort of way. Father could be very disciplined. Father had to sacrifice a lot. Father, over time, sacrifices a lot for you, and you know what I'm saying. Father, very resilient, attained high position of some sort. You know what I'm saying. Father could be dark. Father could have had to deal with a lot of hardship, depression. You know what I'm saying. Themes of Saturn. Could work in dark environments, imprisonment, isolation, things of this nature, right? These are just me throwing shit off the top of my head, right? So what did I say? Saturn. What did I say? Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Saturn. Excuse me. What else I got left? I got Sun, Moon. I'm missing one, right? Sun, moon. I'm missing a planet, am I? Besides Rahu and Ketu, I can't really figure it out. But I'm gonna just do sun, moon. I don't know what the fuck the other planet is, but I'm definitely missing it. I feel like what I did: Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Saturn. No, it's just sun and the moon. Okay, so yeah, okay, so yeah, sun. Sun is fifth lord, right? You know what I'm saying? Father could be you know authoritative leader of some sort, connected to government, you know what I'm saying? Connected to a corporation, connected to the law in some way, you know what I'm saying? Naturally had a high position, you know, and might have been passed down to him as well, you know. A lot of respect, you know, supervisor, overseer, clan leader of some sort, could even be connected to spirituality or passing down of old ancient spiritual tradition that's been in the lineage of the bloodline for however amount of time or whatnot. You know, father could be a very stand on business type of individual. You feel me? And yeah, all that good shit. Moon is the fifth lord. You know, father could be sensible, emotional, intimate, cooling type of personality, healer type of personality, maybe a bit passive or a bit docile, you know what I'm saying? Very knowledgeable, you know, very calming, very wise intuitively, you know, and things of that nature, right? So yeah. Basic natures of the seven floors. I mean, not the seventh floor, but the fifth floors, right? Now, let's get into some examples. So this is Willow Smith, and I'm pretty sure everybody know her father is Will Smith and whatnot, right? So her fifth house is Mercury, right? Mercury is the fifth lord. Fifth house is Virgo. Fifth lord is in the sixth house of Libra, right? And fifth lord is with the sun, right? Now, if you want to go to Will Smith chart, or let's talk about his character and his personality first, right? Fifth lord in the sixth house, just by placement, it being Mercury, fifth lord in the sixth house can show that the father had her very busy since a young age. You know what I'm saying? Because sixth house is a place of busyness. It's a place of routine, constant for perfection, constant correction, constant, you know what I'm saying, being there to tell you, hey, you missed a spot, you did this wrong, you know what I'm saying, you need to go back and revise this over here, you need to clean that up, and the dishes need to be done before I beat everybody ass in this house, right? So fifth lord going in the sixth house, it can pretty much show that the father is very much so on her head, and but it's Mercury though, so Mercury does great in the sixth house, right? So it shows that the father was an excellent individual in the realm of Mercury. Fifth lord, a lot of the time, whatever is your fifth lord, your actual father might have that same planet there. I've seen it in a lot of different charts. You know what I'm saying? Like my fifth lord, my father has the same exact planet. You know what I'm saying? I've done some celebrity charts. I think Janae Aiko, her fifth lord, her dad has the same exact planet there. Who else? I ain't want to say Chris Brown, but anyway, it's a lot of chances that you might have the exact same fifth lord as the father or as the parent, right? And that just proves, like, you know what I'm saying? It just proves like it's a carry down, like it's a carryover and whatnot, right? Like, you know, it's a them pretty much passing the baton down to you. It's a genetic code that's being passed down. But getting back to Willow Smith, you know, fifth lord in the sixth house, and it's of Libra. Libra deals with like business and media. Business, media, limelight, Libra is 10 from the natural 10th house, which is Capricorn, right? Natural 10th house is Capricorn. Capricorn deals with public reputation and success and celebrity and all that. Libra is 10 from the 10th. So Libra carries a great degree of that celebrity. And some of the biggest megastars in the industry have that Libra energy within them. Doja Cat, Drake, Nicki Minaj, yada yada yada, etc., etc. It keeps going on and it keeps going on. Ellen, yada yada yada, etc., etc. Right? But yeah, so Libra, it deals with that mega type of attention from an artistic or from a Venusian perspective or whatever. So Mercury, fifth lord being here, it shows that, and plus the sun being here, which is natural karaka of the father, it shows that the father has this Libra specialty. You know what I'm saying? Like the blessings of the Libra zodiac sign and the sixth house itself, right? That attraction, that business mentality, that mentality to be peaceable or amicable, or to know how to do business and to know how to be attractive in front of the masses or whatever. Father has that natural specialty, that natural ability. Father passes it down to Willow Smith, you know what I'm saying, who was his child, right? So Willow Smith, natural artist, natural actor, right? Was she in movies? I don't even know if the bitch was in movies. I know damn Karate Kid, but damn, the Willow Smith act, that's fucked up. I feel like I'm disrespectful now. Like, I'm pretty sure Willow Smith was in the movie of some sort, my nigga, but I cannot recall it. Like, I'm really tripping right now. Like, I definitely need to give myself 10 lashes after this. Like, that's crazy. But anyway, right? Father has these natural talents. Father passes these natural talents down. And not only that, since his sixth, since his Mercury, since his sun, busy, super busy. You know what I'm saying? Always editing, always getting better, increasing, outputting, and you can see how it translates into her actual life. Like, I think she was signed to Rock Nation when she was like 9 years old or something, and she's still putting out albums to this day. I think she put out like 6-7 albums or something, even though she's not signed to them niggas no more. Like, Willow Smith do a fucking lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's actually a very big star celebrity personality beyond the reputation of her parents. You feel me? Like, she's into multiple different disciplines and things and whatnot, right? But I'm not gonna touch on the sun being debilitated, right? And that's one thing. That is one thing to say though. Like, the sun is debilitated, so a lot of what the father provided, or a lot of the Libra, the limelight, the workaholic nature, a lot of this is going to provide bad fruits and bad karmas to her, and it's going to cause her to suffer a lot, pretty much based off of the sun's debilitation, right? But she still gains the success. She still gains, you know what I'm saying, the fruits, the talent, the code of the fifth lord, which is Mercury. Now let me go to a couple other people, and I'm gonna call this video a video. All right, so this Bill Gates chart. So Bill Gates, fifth house is Scorpio. Fifth lord is Mars. Mars is with Mercury, an exalted planet. You know what I'm saying? So this is, this yoga, or this, combination itself, fifth lord being with an exalted planet, you know what I'm saying, it's pretty much going to not only show the nature of the father, but it's pretty much going to show that Bill Gates is going to be able to be on his shit and handle his shit to a great degree, just off of fifth lord alone being with a strong planet. You know what I'm saying? A planet that's in great strength, right? Exalted Mercury. So what would be the nature of the father? What will be passed down to Bill Gates? How would Bill Gates manifest in the world as his own king or whatever, right? So fifth lord is Mars. Rahu is also in the fifth house, right? We need to take that into account, right? So Bill can kind of have, a shrewd personality, or I guess you could say a criminal or a deceptive personality, a demoniac personality, a personality that's pretty much able to see through all the bullshit and get to where he needs to get to. You know what I'm saying? He's very cunning, right? As Rahu, it always trines, you know, wherever it sits from. So Rahu being in the fifth is going to affect the natural identity. It already does because it sits in the fifth, and it also affects the ninth house. But let me get back to the point of this video, right? So Rahu in the fifth lord is in the third house. Did I say 11? I think I said 11 individually. First of all, my fault. But anyway, yeah, fifth lord is in the third house, and it's with Mercury, right? So what flavor does this give? So it gives that father. Off top, I'm gonna think like, you know what I'm saying? Father could be fighter, intelligent fighter. You know what I'm saying? Person who has skills, power, or ability in relation to intelligence and knows how to get rid of enemies, get rid of problems, you know, litigate, leverage, yada, 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 etc., etc. Especially with Mercury being so strong, Mercury is pretty much going to take over the affairs of this house. And Mars is pretty much, you know what I'm saying, just a tenant. You know, you just going to give me the energy that you got and I'm going to take us where we need to go. So Mercury, Mars in this particular house, father could have probably been in a law. Father could have been very skilled engineer. You know what I'm saying? Father could have been into programming, or I know Gates was, you know what I'm saying? Gates was heavily into the, you know, the computerized thing. I don't know if he actually got that from his dad or whatever, but it's pretty much Mars and Mercury. So, yeah, law, deep level engineering, deep level, very deep level law, very deep level engineering, deep level monetary bullshit because it's Mars and it's Mercury, so it's hustling. So deep level monetary bullshit, acquisition, ability to get properties and different things of this nature, yada, 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 etc., etc. But I would more so lean towards law, potentially like deep level surgery, healthcare type shit, because it's also Mars as well. You can also say like Virgo kind of carries the responsibility of like humanitarianism in a way, just as Aquarius does, right? Because you're healing, you're bringing service to the collective. So, you know, father deals with some type of service, right? Like he brings service to people or whatever. So let's actually see Bill Gates' father. So, you know what I'm saying? So Bill Gates' father was William Henry Gates II. Bill Gates Sr., prominent Seattle attorney. So that's the law, right? Seattle attorney, law, civic leader, politics too. I don't know why the fuck I ain't say politics. It's crazy. Philanthropist, you know what I'm saying? And that's pretty much the service to society or whatever, right? But, you know, father was pretty much into the law, right? Father was deep level skill sets in regards to the law. He knows how to litigate. And yeah, you feel me? Knows how to use the sharpness of that Mercury to clean motherfuckers out the courthouse, you know, sue, get your motherfucking compensation, put motherfuckers out of business, and stand on boss shit in a way to get motherfucking money, right? Serve as president, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't necessarily think Bill Gates took the law path, but that Mercury, it still was very much so effective in Bill Gates being able to, you know what I'm saying, come over with Microsoft and use his intelligence in engineering, doing the deep level engineering. So that's the ability that he inherited from the father. Father was extremely intelligent, and Bill Gates inherited that ability as well. He just applied it to a different area and whatnot, right? And we could kind of see that pivot from Rahu affecting the fifth house as well, right? Rahu is going to take the lineage in a different direction. It's going to kind of pivot, right? And as you can also remember from me saying earlier, you know, Bill Gates, you know, that Rahu in the fifth is also going to cause, you know, the cruel, or the underhandedly cruel nature, the perceptible nature, the devious nature, the criminal nature, you feel me? The deceptive nature, the ability to make something look good and it to actually be a poison that he's trying to inject into the enemy or whatever, right? We can see how Bill Gates embodies these qualities. And I'm pretty sure the father probably had them same type of qualities as well or whatnot, right? But father was in the military as well, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is Mars. You know what I'm saying? So military and law. But that's pretty much all I got. I know I've been rambling for long enough. It's a 40-minute mark on this video. If y'all got any questions, you know what I'm saying, you could definitely leave some for me to probably expand further upon the fifth house topics. Velocity Morning. Definitely like, share, subscribe, all that. Peace and blessings.